Hail and well met. Welcome to the Dungeon Scrawlers, part 5 of the Isekai Realms one-shot, run by Chris the Gray there, who we will get to after everyone else in the intro. Chris, you keep us going, but it's such a good game, so I'm very glad. I am Eric Scott DeBee, writer, author, game designer, sometimes DM on the stream. Not tonight. Tonight, I am an aspiring paladin with significant PTSD issues named Elric Thalavar, because that's what I said, because my nephew calls me Elric and I think it's cool. So, and I wield Vindicator, but I am otherwise a second level fighter I'm a second level warrior in second edition terms. I don't think Chris's
first level.
First level. Dang it. I was trying. First level warrior. In D&D second edition terms, I don't think Chris has officially made me a fighter yet. Maybe he will, maybe he won't make me a fighter. Maybe he'll make me a paladin. Who knows? Anyway, I also wanted to remind people that I have a Kickstarter going on. We have cleared 70% funding. We have 10 days left. It ends on the 18th of February. If you put in !justice in the chat, which I will do right now, or have done in the past, since there is a time delay, it will take you to the Kickstarter. Yeah, check it out. A superhero novel that I'm writing. I've been writing about these characters for a while, but I thought it was time for them to have their own novel. So check it out. Take it away, Rhiannon.
Hey, I'm Rhiannon Held. I write urban fantasy under Rhiannon Held and space opera under RZ Held. And my space opera series of novellas, the Amsterdam Institute series, is now complete. So if you like complete series and you like cool sci-fi wings and like brain implants and like snarky AI characters, you should check it out. I'm also going to tell you about a couple of our sponsors. Norse Foundry makes metal dice, and you can find their dice and their gaming accessories at norsefoundry.com. And Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials. So we got a number of cool deals for you. Tonight we have a giveaway anywhere in the world for one set of dice from Phoenix Dice. And you can enter by typing !ticket in the chat. And also, if you go to phoenixdice.com, you can get 10% off at checkout by using the code Dungeon Scrawlers, all one word.
Excellent.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Alexandra Pitchford, or Allie. You often see me in the chat as Shay Darksong. I am a writer, game designer, and TTRPG streamer. And yeah, I'm playing myself today, so that's fun. I am presently, I guess, a level one thief. So who would have thunk it, right? Gee, cat at good thief. What's happening here? So I'm going to tell you about another of our sponsors, which is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, and that is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons and Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida, Havilar, and Mehen from the Brimstone Angels novels. It's available on PC and Mac on Steam, and PC and Mac on Steam and Web, Epic Game Store, Google Play, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. And don't forget that there are 4 days left of the Grand Revel, so do take part in that if you want to get your hands on Brother Uriah from the Black Dice Society, because time's running out on that one. So, for more information, just check out idlechampions.com.
Woohoo! Woo! Hi, I'm Randy, author and gamer. And I just wanted to talk really quick about the Trevor Project. We're collecting donations for the Trevor Project. It's an awesome organization, thetrevorproject.org. Reach out if it's for LGBTQ plus youth and allies. And they have really great, if you go on to the online chat, for example, you can just hit escape really quick, 3 times really quick, and it gets it, closes it, deletes it from your browser and stuff. So I know there are a lot of safety things put in place so that you can feel safe and comfortable reaching out for support when you need it. And they also have Trevor Space which is online social, their own online social community. It's a really great place to go. So please donate and support that amazing organization.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joel Everett. I am a second level warrior and currently holding Vindicator on Eric's behalf, though terrified at the prospect of using it. So probably will be using the crowbar currently in my backpack instead, since I don't have any other weapons. Usually I'm one of your mods under the handle of Rumpus Imperator, but tonight I'm playing myself. So Chris, over to you.
All right. Thank you kindly. Eric, anything else or all set?
Oh, I did want to take one moment to point out that I am using my whiskey keg, which my colleague and friend V gave to me. And as you can see, it dispenses. And and it has its own little stand, which I just set next to the computer.
So is this refillable or did it?
Oh,
come with
yeah.
One. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's refillable. You're supposed to put in like you can put in like herbs and stuff to make your own just various kinds of like blends, and it's really neat. I really like it. I also really like bourbon, so
There you go.
You really liked it the last time we played as well, if I recall.
I'm sure that had nothing to do with me confronting those two muggers. Anyway,
It's a theme. It's a theme.
Whatsoever.
Confronting. Yeah.
It did just dawn on me. I should, with all this talk of alignment, I really should not touch Vindicator.
oh, you really should not. Yeah,
Ooh,
that's why I handed it to Joel, not to Allie.
Thanks. Eric's taking care of you.
I didn't hand it to Randy either because Randy's a wild card.
Don't you mean Randonius?
Randonius, yeah, that's right. Randonius.
Imperius and Exonius Maximus. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my God's below.
So
All right.
when last we left our heroes, they had made their way from the gate beneath the city across town to what is almost certainly Briar House in this age. Along the way, Eric took a dip into two things: service to Helm and poo. And I will leave it to all of you to decide which of those went better. And upon arrival at the Briar House of this age, you met the mistress of the house, Jamal the Thespian, and you had some conversation in the next to the fire in the parlor as Eric was being depoopified, talking amongst yourselves and talking with her. You gave just basic explanations of who you were and why you were here. She offered you some hospitality, particularly when she discovered that there was a bard among you, as she was looking for assistance with a performance or two over the next couple of days, tomorrow being Midsummer, the day after that being Shield Meet. And she explained the concept of cheap heroes to you all. She also asked Eric whether or not he was a member of the Thalavar family, something he denied in conversation. And that is more or less where we left everyone. She will, since it is quite late at night or early in the morning at this point, depending upon your perspective, say to you all that she's taken up enough of your time at this late hour. She has many remaining questions, but she can ask those of you in the morning when you've had a chance to at least get some sleep. I assume that's what you'd want.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll quietly say to her, "Hey, do you have some something strong to drink? My friend had a pretty rough day. He could probably use it."
I will have Varys find some dwarven ale.
Oh, that
That
sounds
should
exciting.
that should put him right to sleep.
We need to hand the babies off to somebody.
She'll look somewhat quizzically at you. You brought them in. Did you not want to have them sleep in your room? Really?
We wanted them to, we were taking them to safety.
You know that
We were not
voice-
keeping them.
You know that voice you sometimes have in your head, Rhiannon?
Yeah.
It's going to be back, and it's going to say, do we really know anything about this woman such that we are prepared to hand off these children to her already?
I mean, so she's vouched for by May, and we don't know anything about May,
Yeah.
except May could have left us to die repeatedly and like thrown the baby to a monster with the babies to a monster or something. So
Yeah.
I trust May being invested in having the baby safe, and therefore I'm trusting Jamal.
I cannot stop you, but I do not believe that this is a wise course of action.
Yeah, I'm not willing to trust the babies to a stranger any more than I was willing to trust just drink what she was offering. So,
Well, here.
at the door, but
You have
Okay.
that.
that's fine.
All right.
I'll care for the babies.
She will say when she sees you guys have a brief conversation within your group, the speed of thought is fairly fairly quick. So people might notice that you're pausing for an instant, Rhiannon, when you're talking to yourself. But that occurs much faster in your head than it does in conversation. So as a consequence, they don't really stare at you too quizzically unless they have a real insight into what's going on. And she'll say, I will get them some swaddling clothes, something that you can use to change them, and I'll make sure that they have milk, sheep's milk in the morning. Is that fair?
That would be
Thank
great.
you.
Maybe a couple of drawers we can use as makeshift cribs.
The room that I'm having you use, rooms really, have an overabundance of things. So I'm sure there's
Okay.
something in there that you'll find to your pleasure. I apologize for their state, but my basement was destroyed in an unfortunate circumstance some 2 months ago, and I had to relocate a lot of what was there upstairs, and I haven't really had a chance to go through it since. Maybe tomorrow we can do a bit more with it when we talk about the performances. But for now, Mercy, would you be so kind as to take them all upstairs and then to bring them some water and some ewers? Yes, mistress. This is the half-elven girl, little more than a girl, who serves Mistress Jamal as a housekeeper, maid, that sort of thing. She will say to whomever appears to be in charge, who does appear to be in charge in your group?
Rhiannon.
She'll say, Rhiannon,
Yeah.
Eric charges. Rhiannon's in charge.
we'll see if Eric gets charged.
Eric charges. Randy chants. Rhiannon's in charge.
Fair enough. So she will say to Rhiannon, Milady, this way?
Thank you. We don't have titles though, but
What is your name, Milady?
so I'm Rhiannon, and then
Rhiannon.
I'm going to stop because I am not aiding and abetting any of this nonsense. You can tell her whatever names you want.
Okay, she's looking to the rest of you patiently.
Oh, for our names?
Well, I know you are Maximus?
You can just call me Randonius. All my
Randonian.
friends do. Yeah.
And you, tall sir?
I am Elric.
Elric.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Elric.
Well met indeed, Elric.
They're very pale in my family.
And you, miss? Allie, that's you?
I'll pause for a second because I'm trying to determine, do I really want to give my real name at this juncture, or do I want to come up with an alias?
No,
You want to come up with an alias?
It's a whole new world. Why not reinvent ourselves?
That's right.
I
did.
Sydney Bristow. Just kidding.
Oh,
You know, she does kind of have a Sydney Bristow look going with the colorful
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
Man, all right,
Oh.
we're dating ourselves a little bit. Alias came out like 20 years ago. Let's be clear about this.
Yeah.
oh dear God. Now I feel old. Anyway,
No. Sorry. 25 years ago.
Oh,
Sorry.
twisting that knife. Okay.
Go ahead, Allie.
It just that's a difficult question.
Are you going to say that? That's a difficult question.
No, I just say call me Mara.
Mara. Very good. And you, sir?
Joel Paulson.
Joel Paulson. Joel Paulson. Well met, Joel Paulson.
And you as well, Mercy.
If you'll follow me, and she will take you up the curving set of stairs in the entryway. If our technical wizard could bring up first floor at this point, this will look familiar to those of you who may have seen it before in a differing incarnation. It is not exactly the same as this model I have of it that was generously provided for me by Yang Yang. But it gets the job done. The basic layout of the house is identical. Do you see the curving staircase in the entryway?
Yeah.
That is where you're being led up as we speak. The hall to the left of the entryway is where you are having your conversation. And the fireplace was brewing. If you could bring up second floor.
The place looks so nice without all the holes in the wall and the.
Right?
We repaired those.
That's true. That's true.
They haven't happened yet.
This place looks a little rough. As I said, its windows are battened down and there's garlic cloves about. And it looks like it's prepared for a siege. So as you come up onto the second floor, she will lead you to that hallway to the left that sort of curves over. And open a door with a key that she has on her belt, leaving that door unlocked, to a room that is about 20 by 25 feet. It's a bedroom. It has two windows, as you can see on the map. They are barred and shuttered with garlic hanging above them. On the front and left walls, there's a dresser, a table, a chair, a bed, long disused, and they have tossed all over them costumes of all kinds, puppets, props, discarded all over. There is a brazier with coal in it, sitting by the side of the bed that is probably used to heat the place as necessary. It is, however, midsummer, so you could sleep comfortably in here without heating it. All the windows being closed, it stinks a bit of garlic because there are garlic cloves above them. There are three exits to a hallway, to an open closet or storage room, which you can see in sort of the north part of this room. Again, chocked to the gills with props and costumes and, you name it. And then to a set of stairs curving up. She will say, this room and the room above it in the turret are meant to be yours. Again, I apologize for the mess. Varys and myself, we moved everything up from the basement that we could. We weren't expecting guests.
Mercy, could you tell us what happened in the basement?
She'll pale a bit
Mm-hmm.
as you ask that question, look away, and say, I think that's a story best told by Mistress Jamal. I should get you water. And she departs in a hurry.
And some more of a nail.
Oh, yes, yes. You are alone on the second floor. It is dark in this room, as she did not bother to leave you any light. She had a candle. She took it with her. Someone asked her an awkward question.
Sorry. Oops.
So what do you want to do?
Check. Okay. Check to make sure that the windows are. Well, wait, they're barred,
Well,
aren't they?
Deploy nightlight. Is what I'm gonna do first.
Nightlight deploy. All right, so you can see the room. You can see the stairs leading up.
That won't freak her out when she comes back.
I forget. Are all of our tattoos or only Rhiannon's glowing at this point?
Only Rhiannon's, because only Rhiannon has decided to deploy a nightlight. However, you know that each of you has the capacity to create that glow. The glow that tends to come from some of you is a slightly different color than the glow that comes from others.
That's right. Okay. There were three colors? Or
Yes, more or less.
Okay.
Red, yellow, and silver.
I think at this point, I will kind of activate my own glow and at least head up the stairs to check out the room in the turret.
Okay.
Kind of get a lay of everything.
Your glow is of a matching color to Rhiannon's. And does anyone want to accompany Allie up there, or just simply let her go up by herself?
I'll go up with Ellie.
Okay.
Yeah, good not to be going around anywhere alone.
I don't
Please
have
don't
my,
Yeah.
I
secure
don't
the
have my
space.
glowing sword, so it's not too bad.
Fair to say all of you then?
Well, I mean,
It's a-
because I was gonna say I was gonna start like organizing down here to get ready to sleep. but-
Totally. Go ahead.
Organizing a fashion
Sure.
show. We got costumes. We got pretty lights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, I was
this is
like-
mother load, Randy. This is like mother load.
I'm
of
like
costumes.
halfway up the stairs, and I'm like, no.
Okay. All right.
I would actually join Rhiannon in going through the costumes, seeing if what kind of condition are they in, what kind of shows are they for.
Okay, so what's going to happen then is it's going to be Rhiannon, Randy, and Joel down on this floor. It's really kind of the same floor, and Allie and Eric going up to the turret. So those of you in the room, as I mentioned, there's a smorgasbord of things here. These are stage clothes, so they're designed to be sort of dramatic, but there's every class one can imagine. There are no doubt what are meant to be subgroups that don't make a whole lot of sense to you, perhaps. Maybe that's meant to be the livery of a noble house, and this is meant to be a particular church. But if you wanted to try to pretend to be something, this would be a good place to start. The clothing is well made, if a little serviceable. You probably know the difference between costumes designed for stage performance and clothing that you wear on the street. This is designed more for how it looks than how it wears over the long term, but at least in the short term, it would probably fool most people. So you're certainly thinking to yourself, look at me, look at this, look at me, look at this.
Been wearing the same clothes. How many weeks have we been doing Isekai Realms? And this is
You are about 4+ hours into the game.
Still the
right,
first
right.
night.
But I literally have been wearing the same outfit just to be
Yes.
consistent every episode. So.
Admit it, Randy. I appreciate that commitment.
And whether I've changed my clothes in between is only I can tell.
only you know. And those who would be in the room.
Oh.
But in any event, up the stairs, the room atop the turret is really atop the sunroom in the house, right? It has an odd shape. If you looked on the map, not quite rectangular, about 20 by 15 or so, with 3 windows, 2 of which are in window boxes that have like little landings that lead to them. Exposed roof beams in the ceiling. Again, all the windows up here are boarded shut. There aren't garlic cloves up here, so take that for what you will. There is a bed, there is a desk, but the room is stacked full of puppet stage equipment, costumes, and here you've got dummies and racks for things, so it's not as much clothing as it is on the in the room below, as much as there's all kinds of things on this floor above. There are even suits of like armor and whatnot up here. Whether or not those are real or costume props would require you to touch them, but it's dark, all the windows are closed, but you have the glow.
If it weren't for the clutter and I'll pause for a second, and the dummies, this would be almost like a little bit of a dream room, honestly. I love this kind of stuff. Just like poking around.
So we're in the character creation screen.
Yeah, there you go. It is really interesting, and there are a wide assortment of things to sort of play with. So you're sort of fighting a combination of sleep, because frankly, you've reached the adrenaline is worn off, and you're now into sort of exhaustion and shock because you're in a safe place for the first time since you arrived. And you don't know, whether you awoke from a lengthy sleep when you got here. You haven't really had a chance to eat anything substantive. You've been traipsing around from place to place in dangerous situations. You've been in a couple of fights. So you're worn out, but you're also excited because, again, you're in a new playground of sorts. We have this ability to, rifle through all kinds of gear and equipment. Do you wish to stay up here or return back downstairs?
I might stick around up here for a bit. Just kind of like, is the bed clear?
No, neither of them
No.
are clear.
So I might start moving stuff off the bed and trying to rearrange things a bit so at least somebody can sleep in one of these.
These beds would easily accommodate 2 full-size humans, 3 if they're friendly.
Fair enough.
All right.
Allie,
Hmm?
I'm sorry. I freaked you out. I didn't mean to. I freaked myself out a little bit.
Yeah, I could tell. I mean,
But you're right, and I want to thank you for pointing out what you did. It's very important.
Oh.
I've been thinking about it in the 30 minutes that have elapsed since that moment. He says about the game a month ago. And whatever Helm wants me to do, I'm going to try not to kill anyone. I will find a
Look.
different solution whenever possible.
you know me well enough to know that I'm not going to tell you that I'm not going to like make you swear to a promise to never kill anybody. In a place like this, it might happen. We don't know.
We're just talking about how you're chaotic good, Allie. Of course, you're not going to make me swear to a promise like that.
Were we talking about that, Eric?
Were we talking about that, Allie?
Not in game.
No.
No. Such a meta game.
Regardless, look, I'm not. I know how unrealistic that is. Like, we're in a place where it's going to be dangerous. We may have to kill people. Those people didn't.
I know.
At least at that juncture, didn't deserve to die. That was my issue.
Well, I mean, we don't really know, but that's my point.
Well,
Like,
that's
we
the-
shouldn't
yeah,
judge
that's the
them.
thing. we didn't have all the information, and while they had come up to us, they hadn't made a move to attack yet.
Right.
Like, at most they'd kicked a guy. Like,
What
that
I'm
was
saying is, I'm going to try and avoid killing anybody because
okay.
it's hard to kill people. I mean, it's hard because it's easy. That's what I'm saying. So,
Help me clean off the bed.
I will. Thanks. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. Let's do this.
Don't
Yeah,
you feel
let's-
so much better at ease now, Allie? Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Do either of us feel better about that dialogue? I don't know.
That's entirely up to you. So returning down the short flight of stairs to Rhiannon, Randy, and Joel, you're attempting to make the room as livable as possible while Randy admiring all of the exciting shiny things that you're picking up and putting down as you are doing so. Is that a fair assessment of the situation?
I'm showing them to the babies to keep them entertained and
Yes.
stuff like that. Yeah.
They seem fairly sleepy. They look
good.
like they're ready to conk out.
Oh, that's good. I was a little worried about I might have to go someplace to like a separate from everyone else so they could get some sleep if the babies are.
They
You know it's a
to
fantasy
be-
game if they sleep through the night.
Yeah, yeah.
They seem to be a little less colicky than what you've been given to expect of babies, and they seem a little bit more carnivorous in terms of what they're able to digest without any trouble than what you've been led to expect of babies. So maybe you just got lucky in the baby lottery. Time will
Right.
tell. Okay, so as you're doing this, getting the room ready, there will be a tentative knock upon the door.
I'll go open it, presuming it's Mercy.
That is a correct presumption. She has a set of 2 ewers and a large jug of water. She will say, to clean up
Thank you.
and for your ablutions, you'll take that from her.
Yeah.
She will say, I will be back in a moment with the strong drink.
And I'm going to say just a second, and I'm not going to like go over it on stream, but I do want to ask her about sort of like, where are the privies, chamber pots? What are the details there, just so I can know?
These ewers you are being given are them. So yes, not an ideal situation, but when it's the morrow and you have an opportunity to more clearly explore the place, you'll be given a bit more information to begin with.
Ask for some candles or lamps.
That too.
Oh, she will say, she's now noticing that you're glowing,
Oh,
unless you
shit.
stop glowing.
No, I didn't stop glowing. I just answered the door.
Okay. I apologize. I should have brought I will be right back with candles as well, Madam Sorceress. And
There,
off she-
oh, there it is.
yeah,
I was gonna say she thinks you're magic now.
Well, we are kind of magic.
Kind of cool.
so you can
Yeah.
hear Eric and Allie tromping around upstairs. They're probably clearing off the beds as well. Have you guys given some thought to where everyone's going to sleep?
How many beds are downstairs?
There is one bed downstairs and one bed upstairs. The beds will hold 2 individuals, 3 if they're friendly.
sounded like there's enough clothes and other soft materials that we could essentially probably create a couple of little nests in the room, you know, to
Hmm.
That's a
Oh,
fair assumption.
Yeah, I don't mind taking a nest.
I'll take a nest in front of the door, like
Okay.
laying in front of the door so it can't be opened without hitting me.
yeah. And I'm fine sharing a bed or taking a nest, but with the babies, it's probably better
Yeah.
than taking a nest. That's my only concern.
I
Okay.
still smell really bad.
You don't smell great. None of you really smell great. You'd love to take a bath. There doesn't appear to be a tub in here, but you're more tired than you are concerned about that at the moment. That's a morning problem.
Because I'm
Oh,
just going
yeah.
to take a bed.
All the gods for a prestidigitation spell. I lie down on the floor.
Because if you're going
Okay.
to make me be in charge, I'm just going to take a bed.
Nope, that seems totally reasonable.
Yeah, fair. Well, if Eric is like laying down on the floor up here, I'm gonna plop down on the bed because if there's no.
All right. It appears as though the ladies are taking the beds. You gentlemen will be sleeping on the floors. Is that a
Yeah.
fair assessment?
That
Yeah.
seems about right. Yeah.
Fair
And-
enough.
It's probably good if there's sort of warrior or whatever the heck on either floor. I mean, I don't know that we're expecting anything to come in through the windows of the turret, but
Can we take some of the garlic
Yeah.
from? Can we divide up the garlic? Take some of the garlic from here and move it upstairs.
Probably a good idea.
all right,
Good.
people who know lore, does garlic actually work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it
yeah, but
depends.
I
It
don't,
depends.
I don't
on the
remember in
edition.
second E.
It does kind of depend on the edition. Some vampires are resistant to garlic and some are very susceptible.
Hmm.
These vampires, I couldn't tell you exactly.
I heard if you have a pickle in your pocket, it. So,
Well, the people here think it'll work, apparently.
Andy,
So-
that was a running gag from our campaign.
yeah, no, I know.
No, I
not real,
say
not
that
real.
in the game.
Yeah.
All right.
And then if there's like silver, like if any like costume jewelry or anything like that has silver, we might want to like kind of collect that. And
You
I don't
could go
know.
hunting for it if you'd like to, but that would take time and light.
gotcha. All right. Nah.
I mean, you can't really tell silver by looking. You'd have to sort of.
You can if it's
Mhm.
tarnished.
Yeah, true.
Are any of the weapons actual weapons?
Most of them are prop weapons.
Mhm.
Up on the turret floor, there does appear to be a little cluster of real armor and real weapons.
Oh. Okay. What kind of
What?
armor and weapons?
There's 2 suits of armor, a suit of leather armor, sized for a woman, and a suit of plate mail with the symbol of Tyr on the center. Weapon-
Well, shit.
I mean, I hope the leather armor is sized for a tall woman because
Allie is pretty tall. It's true.
I would say anywhere between 5'6" and 5'10" would work.
might be a bit of a tighter fit, but I could make it work. Probably,
just-
maybe.
You
It's
got the
just
bare
gonna
midriff
look-
going.
It's just
Yeah,
gonna look
exactly.
hot. That's what we're saying.
Fair.
It's
I
black
will.
leather, so it is, and it's supple, so it's designed for someone who's creeping around wearing it.
Okay,
There you go.
I'm down then. I will immediately. I will glom onto that. I will be like, oh, hello.
You are my new friend.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Happy
I'm
birthday.
like calling up the stairs, like, leave the clothes for tomorrow morning.
Right. You said there were weapons as well, though.
There are 2 pole arms that are actually pole arms, probably glaives, nobody really remembers that page from the player's handbook unless they do. Okay, Joel does. These are glaives, Joel. As well as 3 long swords, 2 short swords, and a dagger. They all look like they were made by the same craftsman, because things here, nothing's machine made, nothing's made off of a production line. The craftsmen tend to put their own stamps on them, and the designs that they tend to use tend to be similar. These are all very serviceable weapons, nothing fancy about them, but they're real steel.
Okay, and they're probably better than the mall fantasy sword shop swords that we brought with us.
If you compare the two, you will notice that they are sturdier at where the tang and the guards and pommels meet each other. Almost as if you could strike them against something and you would have no concern about them bending or shattering.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna set that short sword that I was given aside, and then I'm gonna pick up one of the long swords and kind of test that a little bit. A few swings.
Heavier than you'd think, but solid, serviceable.
Okay.
While you're doing that, Rhiannon, she will return with a box of candles, and flint and steel designed to light them. And she also has a hand keg, sort of similar to what Eric was sporting not too long ago, which has burned into the side of it a picture of an axe and a shield.
I'll take that up to Eric.
Okay.
I mean, here you go, bud. Got you covered.
Mine has 2 arrows on it. See?
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
And I'll
This-
say, what,
Heritage Collective is the name.
This has a
of it.
strong smell to it.
some dwarven ale, Eric, or Elric.
Yep.
So I figured you might need some.
Yep.
You just need to make sure you hold it up and say, not an official sponsor of Isekai Realms. That's all.
Fair enough.
Not an official sponsor of Isekai Realms, but call us.
Yeah.
But send a sending to us.
Yeah,
Doesn't always drink dwarven ale.
We
but
can
when-
talk.
Are there cups or is it just a little keg?
Just a little keg.
Okay. I drink some of it.
Have you ever had grain alcohol, Eric?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then you know what to expect. It
Oof.
burned. It burned.
Yeah, we go back
Just-
for more.
Then I hand it to Randy.
He's sleeping
Keep
soundly.
it for like wound cleaning or something.
Yeah.
You don't need to drink it.
You know how we
Oh,
repeatedly
it's-
make the joke about dwarven ale? Try
Yeah.
this.
Okay, I'll try a little bit. Oh, that's good. Good stuff. Yep. I'll just let you treasure that though.
Smooth is not how I would describe it.
Yeah.
I think the strongest thing I've ever had to drink was Everclear. So yeah, like I know what you're laying down.
Gotcha. All right.
All
Well, you know that if you take a couple slugs of this, it is definitely going to help you with sleepy time,
It is.
especially on that empty stomach of yours. Rhiannon,
Fantastic.
you've got 6 candles and a device used to light them. What would you like to do with them?
Joel, are you any good at this sort of thing?
I might be able to, but do you have the ability to generate fire now?
Can
I can't remember if
I?
you shared that with us.
So I'm gonna like sort of like frown into middle distance for a second.
Do you
Can
do
I
this
make-
automatically whenever you're communicating internally?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not actually doing that, but this is just for like the
Got it.
stream to
For
make
my
it clear
purposes.
to the
Thank
viewers.
you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Can I use fire in a controlled way? I don't want to burn the building down trying to light a candle.
The voice will chuckle, and when the chuckle subsides, fire is your birthright, but birth can be painful. And so the first time you use it, it will be dramatic.
I think I want to try it first outside. So tonight, I'm gonna like see with the flint and steel, like try to.
It
with it a
sparks
little
up pretty easily. Like the sparks aren't the hard part. Roll a 20-sided die for me. This is a dexterity check, which means you're rolling low.
8.
Enough to light a candle. And once you've got one candle, you've got as many candles as you like.
Well, and I was a little worried about like bow drills for a second. I'm like, no, they'll have tinder, but like, I would never be able to do a bow drill kind of fire starting. So
They wouldn't give you that. All right. So do you wish to hand off candles to people?
Well, I'll get at least one for upstairs. Like, we don't need to light them all because I'm just gonna fully fulfill this role, I guess. I'm gonna look around for like stuff that like dishes that we can put them in, and like move so that there's not fabric like right around them if they should fall over.
You'll find decorative bowls and the like, and little containers that are meant to hold jewelry. Oh yes, this is ceramic. I can dump the things out and put them inside. Yep.
Yeah, so I'll do one for downstairs and one for upstairs like that, so that if they don't kick it over, it shouldn't light anything on fire.
Joel, were you going to add something?
I was just going to ask, are there the glass columns to put over them or to put around them so that they don't, no, nothing like that?
Nope.
All right.
Nope. Your pyromancy skills tell you that this is a little dangerous, but they assumed that you knew what to do.
More fool they.
Oh,
So you'll create one source of light for the second floor and one source of light for the third floor. And that'll cast delightful shadows on the walls in these rather large rooms. As you're settling down to do that, you'll find that tiredness is beginning to overtake you all. What would you like to do about that? Tuck in? Babies are knocked right out.
Well, now that I'm suitably sauced,
How
wanna
sauced do you
check-
want to get, Eric, on a scale of 1 to sauced?
I took 2 sips of that. I'm pretty sauced.
You're pretty sauced.
I am going to check out that plate armor that you mentioned.
Okay.
So these things are normally fitted to like a particular wearer. So I'm gonna like try and put it on and just see if it fits.
Allie, do you want to stop that madman from playing with he goes over to the thing that it's on and it teeters dramatically, trying to
Allie.
remove it.
Eric.
Allie,
What, Eric?
help me with the straps. Help me with the straps.
Maybe you should wait until the morning when you're not, drunk.
No, this is the best time.
So is this
Go
So is this
to
plate
bed
mail?
up there.
Oh,
half
God.
plate or full
Shit.
plate?
Okay, Rhiannon said we need to go to bed. We should go to bed.
Yeah. Go
Or
to bed.
Should we organize some kind of watch shift, like take turns, at least one person remaining awake to watch?
A fire guard?
Do enough of us have the energy to do a watch right now? Is also another question.
Yeah,
that
I
would
mean,
have.
so I'm willing to be overruled, but I'm thinking that like the false security of thinking that somebody is going to stay up and then they fall immediately asleep is worse than having, Joel was saying he was going to sleep in front of the door.
Yeah, I
mean-
think that should be enough, right? Like,
Yeah. We're
As
not in
long
the
as we
middle of
blow-
nowhere.
So long as we blow out the candles before we go to bed.
yeah.
Okay, so that is what you will settle down to do. Now, if I recall correctly, Allie, bed upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, floor next to bed upstairs. Joel, floor next to door downstairs. Rhiannon, bed downstairs. Randy, pile with babies where downstairs.
I guess like corner farthest from bed and Joel, just in case the babies make noise or whatever, not to disturb them.
Near one of the windows?
Well, you could, if there's room on the
Mm.
floor, depending on how long the costume pieces are, you could go.
Yeah.
If there's a closet, isn't there?
There
That
is.
could be sort of a little like.
Oh yeah,
niche
no
to
closet.
be in there.
Excellent. That's a little enclave that will provide you with the greatest defense against any invaders. They'll have to go through the whole rest of the party first, Joel. I mean, Randy. All right. So you'll settle down. Eric's out first. Eric, you snore.
A little bit.
snoring happily away, Allie, which
Actually,
is keeping you up.
my main thing is that I talk in my sleep.
Oh, delightful.
I compose
fantastic.
poetry about characters that I happen to be writing stories about while I'm asleep.
All right. Okay.
I'm
Is this
not
an
making this
actual
up. This
fact?
is true. This is an
I was gonna
actual
say,
fact
Shelley.
about me.
Oh,
Verify
nice.
it with Shelley.
Shelley
My-
has apparently has repeated poems that I told her at 2 a.m. several times.
Oh my.
This is a delightful fact about you, Eric.
So,
Awesome.
Allie, really questioning her decision to sleep in a room with you.
Just a bit.
Smells
Just
a
a bit.
little bit like shit.
Yeah. Strongly
Speaks
bring-
additionally shitty poetry.
Okay.
I will-
Sarshan. You need a warshin.
So Allie, you want to go to sleep. You want to go to sleep, and you're tossing and turning a little bit
Where's
because
that barrel?
right? Yeah, there you go. So maybe you'll take a little swig as well.
Yeah, I think so at that point. I will take some to try to help me knock the hell out.
Okay. It burns a little going down, so it'll wake you up for an instant. But fairly shortly thereafter, you'll start to feel drowsy. So now the second, third floor is asleep. Similarly, first floor, Randy, these babies are nice and warm. So, you know, you're comfy, you're cozy, you're tucked in the closet. Dunk, you're out. You also snore, Randy? No?
Lightly, so I am told.
Okay. The babies do not. So you're in luck there. Rhiannon, you're out on the bed, and unless you're an insomniac, out fairly quickly since you have this bed all to yourself and everyone around you on the floor. Joel, anything I need to know about your sleeping habits?
I do snore. Before I put the candle out, I'm gonna pull a clipboard and start making notes and drawing for a little bit before I go to bed.
You are constructing the conspiracy board. Noted.
I am.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so the last two people to conk out will be Joel and Allie then. Everyone else is asleep by the time they knock out. That said, it'll be morning before you know it, because you were close to it anyway. And every one of you, while you're unconscious, will have some dreams. These will be vivid dreams. And you will remember certain parts of them or more upon awaking. I'm going to go in an order here, talking about those dreams. Joel, we're starting with you.
Oh my.
Your dream is of a great space outside during the day, near a city. It doesn't look like the city that you are in presently, even though you have only seen parts of it. You've traipsed through enough of it that the design of it isn't similar to the one that you are in. So it is some other city, someplace. It has a Western Heartlands feel to it. So it's not a Shao City, it's not a Chulton City, et cetera, et cetera. It's on the coast, but really the thing that draws your eye most is a man. He is wearing black and gold. He is dressed a bit like a military officer or a cleric of some kind. He has pale skin. You sort of sweep in on him. You know there are people around him, a large number of people, several of whom are accoutered similarly to him, and they are involved in some great act of cooperative magic. He has pale skin. He has coal black hair, long, a beard, but well kept. But the thing that's most interesting or disturbing about him, depending upon your perspective, is that he's covered in burning orange-colored veins. The veins in his body, rather than being blue like you would get with a normal person, are the color of lava. And they stick out well from underneath his pale skin. He's a handsome man of middle age, fit, and dressed, as I said, as a military man or a cleric of some kind. It's hard to make out the symbols on his armor, but you know that what he is doing is of some great importance, and as I said, involves some great cooperative magic. And as he reaches the end of the crescendo of this spell, a second sun bursts into the sky above this city. The dream ends there for you, but you know that this event will occur in almost exactly 1 year's time. So that's Joel. Second, Rhiannon.
Okay.
Rhiannon, you're sleeping, doing your best to not think about a lot, seeing whether or not you're going to get any unusual communications in your sleep. And you have to wonder, am I going to wake up back home? Like, was this whole thing some crazy dream?
Great. Yes.
Am I gonna wake up in my own bed and it's gonna be a fun story or something, or what's happening here? Your dream is dominated by the appearance of a woman, and you're standing just a few feet away from her. She is a tiefling woman, strong, proud in appearance, with strong, well-developed horns swept back, wild flowing hair. You know at once that she is a warlock and a deadly combatant. She's in her 30s, 40s, not young, not old, and she's looking right at you. As she does, meets your gaze, smiles wryly at you. The voice that you have become used to in your head says, she will come for them. And the dream ends. Next, we have Randy. Randy, remember you made that joke about Gladiator in our last game session, and I said it was going to be prescient. You know the scene in Gladiator where he's walking through the fields and he's in the
Elysian fields?
afterlife? Yes. Yeah. And he's trailing his hands through wheat. Mm-hmm. Well, you're doing something similar. You're in a field, only it's a field of wildflowers. Somewhat similar to the wildflowers that were in that lovely field that you arrived in. This, however, is in the light of day. You can see the sun shining merrily above you. It is warm. You're trailing your hands through the wildflowers as you move through this field. There's something a little bit strange. The flowers are blooming, then decaying, then being reborn and blooming again as you're moving along through them, trailing your hands. So that's interesting. And you're just taking that in, trying to sort it out, when suddenly in front of you, as you look up, there is a halfling. Fairly tall, about 4 feet, which is pretty tall for a halfling. So maybe a stout. He's a man. He's older, maybe in his 50s or 60s for a halfling, somewhat distinguished looking for a halfling. He has a well-kept beard with a bit of gray in it, hair tied up with gray at his temples. He's wearing colorful clothing, maybe of a performer or something similar, a bard perhaps, hard to say. And as you look him in the face and he meets your gaze, he'll break out into a smile. He's wearing some sort of a symbol around his neck, like a holy symbol, identical to the one that you saw on the doorway above the inside front door of this building, a harp on a gray background. And as his eyes meet your eyes, you will notice that his eyes are a field of stars. And the dream ends. Okay. Next, we have Eric. Eric, you know that as that's me. That as this dream takes place, it is night. You know that even though the dream is taking place underground or in a building someplace, you're looking down on a scene in what is probably a dark, dank basement room. There is a boy, no more than 4, 5, or 6 years old, with a distinct resemblance to your features. It's in the nose and in the eyes. He's a little taller than normal than you would expect of a boy that age. His hair, though, and his skin are a little bit darker, more Mediterranean cast. And he has a bloodied lip and tears streaming down his face. But he has a fierce, determined, and defiant look in his eyes. As you take in the room, poorly lit, you will see that he has just been smacked bodily away from a woman on the ground. Standing over that woman, the person or thing that just smacked him bodily away is a well-dressed man, but feral and cruel looking, with a full mane of long blonde hair falling into curls on his shoulders. The woman, also with dark hair and a Mediterranean complexion, is in a pile on the ground, laying curled around a smaller form, perhaps, blood pooling from a wound in her neck. The man has a scratch where his pants are torn, his otherwise finery, from where the child stabbed him with a bit of wood from the ground in the leg. And as you look down on the scene, the child appears poised to pounce at the man, who has a suddenly wolfish expression as he feeds on the woman at his feet. But then the child's eyes go wide, and you realize that the child can see you, your ghostly form looming above him between you and the predator. And as he does, his eyes go wide. With confused and hopeful gaze, he utters a single word. Papa? You're looking around the room frantically to determine what else might be in here. If he charges that man, he will die. But there are a set of stairs, stone ones, in the other corner of the room that lead up. And if while the predator feeds he were to run, he might make them. What do you want to do, Eric?
Run.
Did you say
Run
that, boy?
and fight another day. That's what I say.
Okay. He hears you, and he looks at you and turns to flee. As he scampers across the room, there is the laughter, the cruel laughter of the man who you can now hear feeding upon the woman on the ground, that will ring in his ears for the rest of his life. You are now at his level, as though you were seeing through his eyes. He is pounding his way through tears up the flight of stairs, his gaze shifting to the door, a solid wood and iron bound door, which opens just as he arrives. There's a woman in the doorway and bright light coming from behind her, as that room that she's emerging from was lit and the room that he was in darkness. As he looks up at her, eyes blinking at that sudden light, she reaches down for him. She's much taller than him, but not too tall. She's thin, she's lithe, with a sensuality to her, not frailty, strength, with long dark hair, wearing a diaphanous purple silk robe. As his gaze tracks to her shoulders on his way to her face, the dream ends. And finally, Allie, you're in a fitful, troubled sleep, anxious and impatient because you have been told that all you need to do is dream and you will get your answers. Finally, as sleep comes to you, a dream begins. You find yourself in a vast open space surrounded by darkness, bathed in shadow. You could be outside at night, in a large room like an arena or a dungeon, or in a vast underground chamber, a cave. It's hard to tell. Someone or something is flitting around in the darkness just beyond the edges of your sight, at one with that darkness, perhaps even made of shadow. It moves with a seductive sensuality, at once enticing as you catch glimpses of its curves, and frightening as you realize you don't know what it is, or whether or not it's hungry. What do you do?
You said I had to dream, that I would learn what I need to know. What are you?
We will speak out to it then.
Yes.
It will pause in place, its eyes pits of darkness, indeterminate in shape, other than that sensuality that it has about it in a raw way. And it will reply to you in that sibilant, seductive whisper that you've grown used to hearing in your head, stronger than you've ever heard it before, sending a thrill up your spine even in your dreams. Well met, traveler. I am your desire and the passion of the mark, given awoken by your power, mixing with its power, given life and voice. And I would share with you the secret of your true strength if you will take it.
All right. I'm game.
It will chuckle again in a way that sends a thrill up your spine when you say that slightly defiantly to it. The power you possess is the power of becoming, shifting, shaping, and becoming whomever you desire. It is your birthright. You have spent your life locked away in a place that denied you the depths of that power. But now you are here, in a place and with a conduit to it, to finally and truly master it. I can help you unlock it. I can help you control it, to learn to channel your power and to harness it. Do you wish to learn?
Yes. Yes, I do.
As you wish then. Let us start with this. The marks contain power. Let me show you how to use a portion of that power to become what you desire. Tap into the well of your imagination and your desire, and envision that form you wish to be. Shape it here in your dreams, and tap into your power to work your will upon your body and the world. When you awake, you shall be who you desire. You shall remain in that form with all of its strengths and weaknesses until you do the same again. You cannot, you shall not be denied what your power seeks and your mind desires. What do you want to envision, Ellie?
Honestly, what I envision is probably well, oh man. I think where my mind would go immediately is live elven.
Dark elven?
No. Moon elf.
Color of your hair?
I like the blue. Let's stick with the blue.
Blue black or a more vibrant blue?
Blue black.
Blue
I like
black.
blue black. Yes.
Length of your hair?
Long, mid back, I'd say.
Straight, in sort of the traditional elven style, or
Yeah, I'd say fairly straight, a little bit of a wave. You know, nothing too crazy.
Height.
Let's go with 5'10" to
Oh,
Yeah.
extremely tall for an elf.
Fit into the armor. Yeah.
That's true. And that's
Priorities.
actually no. What's about average height for an elven woman in the realms? I can't remember.
Moon elves are actually fairly short. They're between 4'10" and 5'4".
I'd still go on the tall side. Let's go with 5'8".
Okay, so
Still on the tall side.
excellent. Okay.
But I've always grumbled about how tall I am, so cutting off a few inches sounds just fine to me.
Any other details that you wish to shape in the dream that I should be aware of?
I mean, nothing terribly, I would say, too important. I mean, moon elf, pretty.
How beautiful do you want to be, Allie?
Fairly.
To stop the hearts of men, or enough to draw attention, but not to necessarily cause distraction?
You know what? I would go with distraction because screw it.
It would be pretty funny if
can
Alice shows
change
up
it.
for morning feast the next day. She's like, "Well, Eric's dead." Oh, there goes Randy and Joel too.
Not literally heart stopping, but like, you know, I mean, this is wish fulfillment quite literally.
Absolutely.
It's the chance to remake myself as whatever I desire.
So we talking like charisma 16, 17? Is that what we're talking?
I think
And you
it's,
can al-
yeah.
First
And you can always
edition-
dial it back tomorrow.
First edition has a concept known as comeliness, which is a measure of just physical attractiveness. And I sort of imported it into second edition. It has an effect on people based on their wisdom scores. And basically it can stupefy people if the person's comeliness is high enough. Divine
All right.
beings have particularly high comelinesses.
All right.
Nymph like beauty. Go for it.
I mean, yeah, like I would go for I would go for a form that you know I've wanted. So yes.
Excellent.
I mean, I have to say I'm a little envious of getting to be a pretty elf, but
Amazing
totally-
magical power.
Allie totally
Pretty
deserves
elf.
it, so.
So you will awake, Allie, once you've settled into what this form is in your mind and you take it with a start, as will all of you simultaneously, all emerging from the dreams as I have described them. And that is our first break.
Thanks, everybody.
Fantastic.
We will see you in a few minutes. Don't go away.